Good evening and welcome to the channel's studio in London for your 5-minute news update from around the world. 2 planes carrying hundreds of US citizens from a coronavirus-hit cruise ship have arrived in the United States. One plane has landed at a US Air Force base in California, and its passengers will be isolated at military facilities for 14 days. There were some 400 Americans on board the Diamond Princess. The ship, with some 3,700 passengers and crew, has been in quarantine since the 3rd of February. Meanwhile, China reported a total of 2,048 new cases on Monday. Of those new cases, 1,933 were from Hebei province, the epicenter of the outbreak. France has warned Britain to expect a bruising battle with the EU in post-Brexit trade negotiations. French Foreign Minister Jean-Yves Le Drian predicted the two sides would rip each other apart as they strove for advantage in the negotiations. The UK government said it wanted a deal based on friendly cooperation between sovereign equals. Boris Johnson's chief Brexit negotiator is expected to give more details of the UK's negotiating aims in a speech in Brussels later.
Revenir sur la discussion sécuritaire à l'avenir.
Coming back to the discussion about security in the future, much as I think that on issues of trade or the future relationship which we're embarking on, we're going to tear ourselves apart. But that's part of the negotiations. Everyone defends their own interests. You see the statements coming from both sides, including my own, which say, this is how we're setting the bar, and you see what you can get. That's all part of the discussion. The UN says at least 22 people have been killed in an attack on a village in northwestern Cameroon. Over half those killed in Ntumbo were children, and local media report that several victims were burned alive. No one has claimed responsibility for Friday's incident. At least 6 people were killed and 50 hospitalised after a suspected poisonous gas spread overnight in a neighbourhood near the seaport in Pakistan's southern city of Karachi. Panic and fear gripped the town of Kiamari, where people complained of a gas spreading and started to wear face masks for protection. People who faced breathing problems were brought to hospital. According to local media, residents and victims claimed that a poisonous gas had leaked from one of the ships at the seaport in which chemicals had been stored to preserve vegetables. The official cause of the incident is not immediately known. Communities across Britain have faced another day of flooding and travel chaos following the torrential rain and strong winds brought by Storm Dennis. More than 300 flood warnings are in place across the UK, including 5 severe warnings in England. Further evacuations from flood-hit areas could be deemed necessary, and river levels are set to rise even further. A woman is believed to have died in floodwater near Tenbury Wells in Worcestershire, where residents were evacuated from their homes by boat overnight. Travel continues to be disrupted across the UK, with A roads closed in Staffordshire and Nottinghamshire in England, and Powys and Monmouthshire in Wales. South Africa's President Cyril Ramaphosa has declared a state honours funeral for the musician Joseph Shabalala, who died earlier this month at the age of 78. It means the national flag will be flown at half-mast until the ceremony on the 22nd of February, and South African police will provide ceremonial pomp on the day. The special official funeral category 2 is usually accorded to spouses of serving presidents and deputy presidents, as well as deputy ministers and deputy speakers of the National Assembly. Shabalala rose to fame as the founder and director of the choral group Ladysmith Black Mambazo, which won 5 Grammy Awards. Inspired by the late Pope John Paul II, who was an avid skier, Polish priests hit the slopes for a friendly competition in Poland. The priests, in their traditional black cassocks, warm up with prayers, then change into full ski suits for the alpine skiing tournament. The annual event is in its 23rd year and draws clergymen from all over the country. Priests are divided into 4 age groups based around an 800-metre slalom race. The winners of each category receive the John Paul II Cup as their prize. And that's your international news around the world in 5. Now back to the studios in Nigeria.